All right, I see we're at the bottom of the hour. We've got participants in the room. We've got our guest, Brian, and we are recording. So thank you everybody for being here for the first Focus On program of 2025. Very thankful to our guest. It's always difficult rounding up somebody right at the beginning of the year. I think when I emailed Brian, he was still out on vacation. So we appreciate him jumping back right into work this January to be our guest for this month's program. If you haven't been here before, and we might have some people that haven't, a lot of people just kind of hang out with their cameras off for the 30 minutes that we're together. That's great. If you have questions for our guest or for myself, I guess, which has never come up before, feel free to put it in chat, or you can unmute yourself, whatever is comfortable for you. You might find that I mute you, but it's not because I don't want to hear from you. It's just because I don't want to have too many voices going over at the same time. So looks like slides are ready to go. People are ready to listen. So Brian, thanks a lot for being here again. Would you please introduce yourself for everybody here? Just a little bit about your path through librarianship.
Sure. Well, thanks to Dan and thanks to Nichols and for everybody who showed up today. I appreciate you taking the time. So yeah, Brian Cleveland. I'm currently the director here at Atchison Library. And I've been here, I came here in July, August of 2023. Prior to that, I was the director at a library in Missouri called Rawls County, which is a small little town called Center, kind of up near Hannibal. So I was the director there for a little over 3 years prior to coming to Atchison. Prior to that, I was an instruction librarian with St. Louis Community College. I was there probably about 7 years, doing the academic thing. That was fun. Prior to that, I was at St. Louis Public Library for 4 years, where I was a adult services provider, basically working with adult nonfiction slash reference. I don't know if they still use that word. And yeah, I got to do some adult programming there, and I got to do some outreach, quite a bit of collection development as well. And I think before that, I was in Champaign, Illinois, where I was attending library school.
Very cool. And what school is that again in Champaign?
Say again?
What school is that again in Champaign?
University of Illinois,
Urbana-Champaign.
Right. Yeah.
Got some other folks in our area, I believe, that we're also from there. Okay, well, thanks a lot for telling us a little bit about yourself. You've got quite a long career I wasn't quite familiar with, and jumping from academic to public. Yeah. So what can you tell us about your new home, newfound home in Atchison that you all support there with your library?
Well, what do you want
to know? What should we know about Atchison if we don't already, or what's kind of special about your case about serving your patrons?
Well, we've got sort of an interesting library here. The building itself, you'll see there, is on the older side. I believe the library itself was founded in 1879. It used to be in a different building about a quarter mile from here, closer to more the downtown area, if you will. The current building, if you look at the next slide, you'll see that there are 2 dates on there, which I can explain that. So the building that you're looking at there in the first slide does date from 1896. It was gifted to the library in 1921 from the First Congregational Church, I believe. So if you've ever seen our basement here, it will scream out at you, church basement vibes. That's why, because it used to be a church building. Let's see. So in 1985, that other date there, we received some funding to sort of modernize the upper level, make it more ADA compliant, install an elevator and things like that. So that's why you see 2 dates there on on the side of the building there. So got quite a bit of history in this building. Not sure if it's haunted, don't know. But yeah, that's sort of the history of the building. Collection wise, I believe we have about 50,000 volumes. The building itself, I want to say 16,000 square feet. And again, it takes up 2 levels. I think if you scoot ahead to the next slide, there should be, yeah, some nice pictures of Atchison. Forgive me for shamelessly taking some of these right from the internet. It was a little too cold to go snap photos. Um, yeah. So yeah, some of this stuff I put on here just to sort of give, the flavor of the town. Obviously, it's on a river. Back in the day, I believe Atchison was quite a hub for commercial activity with, active river traffic. And there's also, I believe, the Santa Fe Railway goes right through here. So quite a bustling little burg at one point. It's highly walkable. It's got a very compact sort of downtown area. It's home to Benedictine College, which is what you're looking at right there. I believe it's a Catholic/Jesuit college.
And we do have some folks here in the room, I do believe, from there. So thanks a lot for supporting Atchison.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and we've got several of their students actually working for us, so that's nice. And what else? I believe you saw something about Amelia Earhart there. If you come to Atchison, you will definitely become familiar with Amelia Earhart because that's kind of their claim to fame. This is where she was born. And I believe they've got a replica of a Lockheed Martin plane that was like the one that she flew, supposedly, at the Amelia Earhart Hangar Museum. So that's kind of an attraction here. And I believe in July they do like an Amelia Earhart Festival every year. That's a pretty big draw down there by the river as well. So
Great.
some interesting historical tidbits. And
Yeah,
there's lovely homes in this town. I think I threw a couple of sort of interesting looking houses in one of these slides. Yes,
absolutely.
indeed. There's lots of houses like that around here most of them are very well kept. There's a couple of haunted houses. I know they do like a ghost tour around Halloween. That sounds pretty fun. I haven't done that yet. Um, Maybe this year. We'll see.
There you go. Yeah, I love the residential architecture right around the library. If you're ever stopping in, it'd be a nice day trip if you haven't had the chance to take one before. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about just how the library operates, kind of staff size you have. I think it's pretty large. Just your board and anything else that we maybe didn't cover about the city here.
Mhm. So staff-wise, I believe I have 14 staff here, 5 of whom are full-time. Um, it's a pretty good mix as far as age range. We've got, like I said, students here as well as folks that are nearing retirement age. So um, it's a good mix of people. As far as the board goes, we have 7 people on the board. They serve 4-year terms, and they are appointed by the city commission. And I believe the library itself is what's called a tax-supported political subdivision. That's kind of a mouthful, but that's sort of, the funding model that the library operates under. What
Great.
else? I guess if you go, well, if you want to take a look at our website, you should be able to click on that. I don't know if that's worth anybody's while or not. But if you're interested, that's our homepage there. If you want to actually look at the building, I think the next slide should have
Great.
some.
Yeah, and of course now I'm keep clicking. Okay, so yeah, that fits right into our next prompt here is talking about the library's physical space. And Brian did take some more photos of that. So yeah, tell me when to advance and tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is the upper level, which is where adult fiction is. That's what you're looking at right there. This is also where our public computers reside. think we have 8 public computers, maybe. Don't hold me to that. But yeah, this is sort of the main circulation area. There's DVDs, adult fiction, YA, and large print are all on this level. Yeah, those are the stacks you're looking at there. And I guess the circ desk would be over there on the right side. I somehow neglected to take a picture of our circulation, but oh well.
I can see it in the
Yeah,
distance
you
on the
can kind
right
of make
there.
it out there. Yeah. So here, this is sort of south of that room. This is adult nonfiction as well. We've got a couple of OPACs in here and not large print, oversize out here. Our audio books are kind of wrapping around the wall. And I think next is sort of our periodicals, and that's a little place where people hang out and read or just use the Wi-Fi or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's what that is. So we have a nice room called the Kansas room. The Kansas collection is housed in here. This is all local history, genealogy, all of that stuff. Those card catalogs there, I believe, have obituaries from, decades ago, going back, I'm not sure exactly how far. But we've got some really nice helpers who come in every week and do genealogy. They're a big part of sort of our local history connection here, if you will. Usually this is also where we do passports when we have passport appointments because it's kind of quiet and relatively private back there.
Those are great services. Just curious if you could tell about how your genealogy volunteers work. Are they making appointments with folks? Do you have different are different patrons coming and going, or kind of the same people who are working on family tree type
It's some of
data?
each. It's usually, the usual suspects, if you will. Sometimes we'll
Yeah.
get visitors from, other towns that are doing some kind of local history project. It's a fairly robust resource. We've got a lot of local history in there that's really quite valuable to, the people who live here in the community.
Mhm.
And we also usually have board meetings in there, so that's pretty exciting stuff.
Just
And
kind of
one of our,
curious, as a kind of day trip destination, um, do you see much of, you kind of talked about people visiting. Do you hear from staff that people hop into the library while they're checking out the local tours and the Amelia Earhart Museum and the river, that type of thing?
Sure, I've seen a few. Yeah, they come by and they want, a tour of the library and all this. So yeah, we get a fair amount of interest through that way. Yeah, people passing through en route to other places. That's just sort of another angle of the Kansas room there. Sorry, that's kind of a dark looking photograph. That black box that you're looking at, that's where all our passport documents are. So, and we do fairly busy passports. I think we've already done 20, 25 passports this year. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Is that something where people make an appointment, or it's just hours that it's a service
We
that's
try to
available?
encourage people to make an appointment. Sometimes they'll walk in. There are 3 of us who are trained to do it, and usually we'll take them if they're here already and they have all of their stuff. But we try to encourage people to make appointments just
Mhm.
so we can make sure that somebody's here to cover if we need it.
Are you doing photos there too, or is that something they need to bring from another
We do
spot?
not take photographs here. I think there's CVS that most people go to that will do that.
Cool.
And I'm sure they appreciate the business.
Yeah,
If you want to click on that, you can. That just goes out to our genealogical society if anybody's
gotcha.
interested in that.
And I'll share out these slides, folks, so you have these resources, since when I click on it, it will not show you
Doesn't
my
do that.
browser, but we'll let you do that. Okay, so a little bit more about this is the church basement, as Brian mentioned.
Indeed. So this is the lower level. This is what we're in the process of renovating. with the generous help from Dan and Neckles over there. We appreciate that. So this is generally where programming takes place. Adult programs, they do like, craft nights here. They'll show movies. The YA person shows movies down here. Kind of a multi-purpose room, if you will. So currently the project is actually the painter just left. He was out here painting, well, the white parts over there, just going to add some color to it to make it sort of look more like the other half of the lower level, which you'll see here in a second. We're also planning to put some carpet down there because just to make it a little more welcoming. Again, we have a lot of students from Benedictine as well as the Highland Tech Center. I think Benedictine's library is currently closed for renovation, so we get a lot of students using this space to do homework and write papers and whatnot.
And I
So
would
that's
just
our
add, it's a pretty large open space. So I assume that acoustics without the carpeting is probably a challenge, especially as just like a study space and when you
right.
get families and all of that in there. So I am sure you're looking forward to having some of that sound dampening.
Indeed. And we do a bunch of homeschooling classes down here. They do open mic nights down there. So yeah, we're hoping to get some more furniture as well to sort of make it a little more customizable as far as like partitioning off, different sections of the room.
Mhm. Right. Open mic nights. So music, poetry, everything.
Yeah, they've got a couple of guitars here, a couple of amps. There's a digital keyboard. Seems to be a pretty good turnout. I don't know if it's the same people each time, seeing how much they can play Freebird. I'm not usually here for that because it's in the
Gotcha.
evening.
Right. So the library owns some of this equipment so people can just play that and not bring their own gear. That's cool.
Indeed, yeah. Ooh, the seed bank. So this is a pretty cool thing. So we partner with, I believe it's called T Street Gardens and a couple of other sort of, I don't know, horticultural groups around the town to set this seed bank up where people can come take seeds. They can, I think, leave seeds of their own. It's a refurbished card catalog that was donated to us from some of the kind people at Benedictine up there. And if you look at it, he's got each drawer is like a different seed. So it's kind of a cool little thing. People seem to find it interesting. I don't know how much movement he gets with it, but it's just another thing that we offer that people find amusing and hopefully
Yeah.
useful.
And is that found in your upstairs area by the circ desk then?
This is in the lower level there where we
Okay.
just
Lower
were.
level still.
Yeah. So this is sort of a mural on the wall between the church basement and the children's area, which you'll see here in a second. So there's a local artist around town here who paints these murals on the outside of various buildings. It's actually pretty cool. He's got kind of a Mother Goose theme on this one, I believe. If you scroll into the next one, I think you can see more of sort of the characters there, like the big bad wolf there, and looks like the Wizard of Oz somehow too. So this is
Very
sort of the
Kansas.
connecting hallway between the church basement and the children's area, which is here. So this is sort of the color scheme and the carpet that we're planning to sort of reproduce over in the other unfinished part. So just to bring more of a branded sense of cohesion to the whole lower level. That's kind of my idea there.
Nice. And I believe, when I started at Neckles, which is a long time ago, kind of a long time, for me, a long time, 14 years ago, I believe this space I don't believe it was being used and it was pretty unfinished. Do you remember, uh, it was before your time when they finished this off and created the children's section?
Oh boy, I don't.
I think it was probably around 2015, something like that. So you guys have already reclaimed a lot or created a lot of space. So it's nice that you're able to kind of continue this project into
Mhm.
the other half.
Right, right. Yeah. So yeah, here's the children's level. This gets pretty busy. We do a weekly story time here, generally pretty well attended. But yeah, it's mostly we got some books down there. I think that's the easy readers right there, the fiction for the little ones. There's a couple of more pictures on there if you want to
You
just
bet.
another view.
Hmm.
Boxes of
Love,
Legos and toys and fun
love
times.
the carpet squares.
Hmm.
All right. So I think that this kind of takes us on to our next question. Our prompt is library programs or services that you might want to tell us about.
Yeah. Um, so that there is a brochure for our friends group. I just wanted to give them a shout out because I appreciate the work they do. So they help us out with, visits from Santa. They help us out for summer reading, just various and sundry things like that. So we appreciate our friends for sure. And as far as partnerships go, I guess if you can't link out, but um, so every summer there's what they call All Aboard Atchison, which is a match day. So we try to raise funds, and then it's matched by the All Aboard Atchison group. And I think last year we pulled in a pretty decent amount of money, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have a dollar figure in front of me, but it's just another way that the community kind of comes together and helps each other out. So that's a fun thing.
Great. And I did put that in chat if anybody wants to hear more about that.
Cool.
Whoops. Yeah. So yeah, this prompt is about partnerships, it looks like, which is great.
Right.
What kind of partnerships the library has.
Right. So in addition to the match groups, so the Art Association has helped us out tremendously. This past summer, they unveiled what's called Monet's Garden, which is the lot to our west that the library owns. But they were able to do some landscaping in there. There's a little gazebo. It's quite a lovely space. I believe there should be a picture in here of that at least somewhere if you want to
Got it.
scroll up
I
there.
was just putting that link into the
Oh,
chat. There we go. There's the tile mural that's on the stairs you can see there.
right, right. So that's the work of the Art Association and the Friends. The next slide you should be able to see that a little better. It's a tree mosaic on the stairs that they painstakingly took the time to glue all those tiles in. So sometimes they come loose. I have a little cup here in my office with loose tiles that I need to reapply. But it's a lovely gesture by the Friends and the Art Association there.
And
Okay,
that
so
was the
here's the
Monet's
flyer
garden.
for Monet's Garden, and I think we had some local students who did the little walkway with those same tiles there. But yeah, the Art Association and some of the other gardening people around town finished this up last summer. It's a really cool little space, I think.
It's just a walking path then, it looks like, through that area.
Hmm.
Okay. And so we did mention we usually like to end just a little bit, a shout out to KLA as one of our partners for this program. And I know I saw you at conference at least last year. Was that your second KLA conference that you have attended?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So just curious if there's anything you get out of conference or having your membership with KLA or ALA or anything else like that that you'd like to talk as we kind of wrap up today.
Oh, just, it's a great opportunity to network with, other area librarians. I've found that the programming itself to be top notch. I've learned quite a bit from the individual sessions. So yeah, I look forward to KLA every year.
Great.
Good
Well,
time.
we appreciate you being here, and I would just put another prompt, or I would ask folks that if you haven't presented at KLA before, we're always encouraging people, as somebody who's presented before, it's fairly painless. Um, and like
Yeah.
Brian said, I think people who attend conference get a lot out of hearing other people's ideas. We do have a message in chat from Robin Kohler, who does our fundraising and public relations. So she says, nice work on the match day, Brian. And she looked it up. It looks like you brought in $4,500. So Robin did say, especially for our Neckles folks who are watching, feel free to reach out to her throughout the year for any of your fundraising needs. So thank you, everybody, for attending this month's installment. Again, thanks to Brian for starting off our year, telling us a little bit about Atchison Library. If you haven't visited Atchison, definitely, again, recommend that you stop in and pay the library a visit. I know I'm looking forward to seeing that basement renovation that we did help fund through our Nichols Focus Grant. So that's it for today. I do plan on being back next month with another installment. I do believe we'll have a school librarian with us, so we always like changing it up from public to school and academic. We'll hope to bring a little bit of variety like that to you throughout 2025. But for that, I will go ahead and end us for today, and we'll see you next time that we broadcast.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody who came. Appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely.